Hello and welcome to another video where I talk about what Tinto Talks has been talking about. And yes, as you can hear from the sound of my voice, I am somewhat sick. Uh, if I have to do pauses to cough or whatever, I have a system for that. It's all going to be fine. You're not going to see it. But I'm on the mend. I'll be fine. Don't even worry about it. Let us get into the Tinto Talks and Johan's responses to the subject of rebels and rebellions and all of that good stuff. First of all, though, I'm going to bring you over to the Saturday building because there's not much to it. It's just another building. It's the Dmaker. Though we have no idea what this material is. We have absolutely no clue because I have a table of all of the different goods that are in the game here, made by, and I don't see it on here anywhere. So actually, is that actually silver? It's not silver. No, I'm not actually stupid. No, it's not silver. I don't know what this good is. So whatever rock makes dye, I would kind of like to know what you guys think that is, because he has been asked and there is no extra reaction here from Johan. So yeah, if you know what that is, please let me know. But now that we're going into the proper responses from Johan to Wednesday's dev diary, and again, apologies that I'm a little bit late with this video, again, sick, we first have to discuss something tragic, something really that I didn't think I was going to have to talk about. Something really rotten has happened. The WoW is no more. Johan is not happy with the WoW spam. It is not fun anymore, and he will spend the first few minutes of every thread with banhammer instead of replying. I'll just put my own opinion out there. I think it was fine when it was just old Sealand and it was one person doing the WoW comment. I think as soon as it turned into, a bunch of people trying to beat him to it, this was dumb. And yeah, somebody, it took you 2 minutes. Like, you're never gonna be first. Don't even try it. These guys, that sucked. But old Sealand, fucking rest in peace, guy. But anyway, let's move on to one thing that I was very worried about in my dev diary video. And as soon as I finished writing my dev diary, not writing, I don't do scripts. As soon as I finished recording my dev diary video on Wednesday, I immediately wrote this comment and said basically, please tell me the automatic control mentioned in Tinto Talks 23. And I mean, if I could, I quoted it even. This is from Tinto Talks. First of all, you take a fort. All locations in the zone of control will start changing control to you. Valid for all forts owned by an enemy if we've taken it. Secondly, if you take capital, you'll start getting control over all the locations of that province. Of course, this is blocked by hostile armies and forts. I basically asked, can that also apply to civil wars? Because in Imperative Rome, where this feature debuted, it did not. And I also had people correctly point out that the Invictus team for Imperator did manage to fix that. Fantastic, hats off to them. But yeah, basically I said that that is a feature that is absolutely needed, and Johan's response is pretty self-explanatory. It's pretty straightforward. Of course we will. It's not 2019 anymore. The same system for all types of wars. Fantastic. Great. My worry is non-existent anymore. It's great news. I was exceptionally worried about it, and I have been told that it is not necessary to worry. So we move on. Everything is good. And that's my comment again. Can you fund the rebels, and then if they win, you'll have friendly politics or even be your vassals? Yes, you can. You can in fact fund enemies, rebels, or other countries' rebels. I think pretty much everyone expected this, but it's nice to have a bit of confirmation. Could religious rebels also simply ask for better tolerance laws? When it goes as far as the military uprising, the mere slightly more tolerant is not going to cut it for most people. And this is a very big difference to what we saw in Victoria 2, right? When you had a rebellion, even after the rebels had risen up and they were wandering around your country, it was possible to get them to dissipate and go away completely if you passed certain laws. It doesn't look like that's going to be the case here. You know, if there are rebels in your country, you know, they're going to fight you until they die or win. They're not going to be pacified with a change of law, it doesn't seem like. How will pretenders work if there's no loyalty system for characters? I don't feel like that was necessary. We have pretender rebels in EU4. We have no loyalty mechanic there. I'm not sure why this is even a question. But low legitimacy when the ruler dies, or if a new ruler might be weak, or when a new ruler is foreign, or other things, other stuff. Maybe events, or maybe somebody's put a pretender on the throne through espionage, or there could be a ton of different reasons for the ... But yes, okay, just an explanation of how pretenders work. Can rebels call in their old overlord even if it has a truce with the new overlord? Yes, apparently, yes, they can. The ... makes me think. I'm just reading between the lines of ... here, aren't I? Really, but it makes me think that Johan is considering this like an obvious answer, but I don't think it would be an obvious answer unless the rebel system, the rebels are counted as being defensive, and so they can call in their allies being the old country, the previous country, and if they're calling them in as a defensive call to arms. But I would have approached rebels as being more offensive. They're offensive against the new country, so generally they wouldn't be able to call in somebody who has a truce with that new country. But yeah, that is interesting. I think that is a very interesting thing. And then again, can we support rebels, revolts, and unsatisfied factions from other countries? Only if they are present, so you can't just like create a faction or create rebels out of nothing. They have to be present in some way, shape, or form. Can rebels generate dynamic tags like in Imperative Rome? Can rebels get additional land from peace treaties if they win? So all revolts and civil war factions are unique dynamic tags. Fantastic. Also, Project Caesar no longer uses 3-letter tags, so SWE for Sweden, ENG for England. Anbana does a letter and numbering system, R62 for the command, for example, F21 for Bursar Tenches. I know a few of them, yeah. A21 for Vern. But now we're getting 5 digits. And initially this seems like, oh, that means we can have so many more tags. It's fantastic. But if you think about the mechanics of it, right? 3 is actually kind of enough just in general. With 3, if you use all English Latinized characters without any accents, and the letter and the numbers 0 to 9, you have 36 characters. The amount of unique tags you can make out of 36 characters is something like 46,000, which is a lot. It's probably more than any mod is ever gonna need. It's more than E5 is ever gonna need. But they will start getting ugly, and they will start not really resembling the they'll start not resembling really the countries who they're supposed to represent. So having 5, while the amount of unique tags you can make out of 5 is like 65 million, I think it's more about having tags be able to resemble each other. So for example, if you've got a rebellion in Sweden, maybe it'll be SWE00, SWE01, SWE02, and that way you could have 99 rebellions going on at the same time in Sweden without issue. So yeah, no, it's initially when I saw this, I was like, yes, amazing, and then I thought, wait, it was not necessary, and now I'm thinking, yes, actually, pretty good idea. But yeah, moving on. Can we play as a rebel country as soon as it spawns? You can switch country in the lobby. Okay. On the one hand, we have a lobby. This is something I was very much animated about when I was asking for various things to be added to the multiplayer in EU5, because I think the multiplayer in Crusader Kings 3, in Stellaris, in Victoria 3 sucks. It absolutely sucks, and one of the large reasons for that is the lack of an in-game lobby after the first session that you play. To load up a save game or a previously played multiplayer game, for the second session, you don't have a lobby, you just straight up go into the game. And while that works and is fine for a group of developers all playing over a LAN connection with relatively decent computers, it doesn't work when you've got people from America playing with people from Europe and all different types of hardware ranging from potatoes to, NASA's fucking secret police computer. Especially hot joins as well. They need to be, say, I'm getting into what I want from multiplayer. Maybe I should make that in its own unique video, but whatever. That's actually a good idea. Maybe I'll do that. But the fact that there is a lobby, fantastic. However, there's always a but. CK3 I've just mentioned as being shit for not having a lobby. But it does actually have a lobby. It is a lobby that you, playing multiplayer, can enter into at any point while the game is paused, or while the game is unpaused, while you're not the host, while you're just anybody, right? Can enter the lobby and then switch countries, or switch characters in CK3, and play someone else. And, yeah, I want the ability to make that not a thing. Honestly, if EU5's multiplayer system, like the base mechanics of how the multiplayer functions with lobbies and hot joins, chat and all of that, is identical to EU4, with less desyncs and maybe it can run a bit faster, that would be the absolute best case scenario for me. All these fancy new features that have been introduced after EU4 came out, I am sick of seeing attempts at reinventing the wheel and failing. I'm sick of it. I don't want any more, seamless hot join. I don't want any more, we just go straight into the game and, you can start playing while other people are still loading the save game. No, I don't want any of that. That all sucked. It all was absolutely rancid and killed multiplayer. There's a reason that EU4 multiplayer is so much bigger than CK3 multiplayer. It's so much bigger than Vic3 multiplayer, because the multiplayer system in EU4 is simply superior in every single possible regard. And I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that shit. I'm going to make a video about it, but yeah. I'm just worried that this is going to be the same thing. Switching countries in the lobby. I don't want to see that. I want the ability to make that not a thing, because that blows. It really does. It really, really does. I don't want to see it. But anyway, I will make a video about that. It'll be coming out at some point when I can remember to make it. Yeah, so I guess no more North Sweden or Nahuatl Japan, since they're in different groups and will want independence from now on. I know it wasn't realistic, but it was fun while it lasted. So there are other ways to become North Sweden or Nahuatl Japan than exploiting rebels. There are multiple game rules for changing primary culture or religion. Dynamic must be 40% of the pops or present at the same group. I like that. It's probably what I'm going to use for multiplayers. To any inside group, so, Catholic changing to Protestant is fine. Catholic changing to Muslim and Sunni, it wouldn't be. Present only to religions, cultures present in your country, or any, no limits at all. Yeah, I like game rules. This is good. Game rules are good. I like more of them. Can rebels do diplomacy like any other nation? Yes, apparently they can. They are normal countries when they have spawned. Very cool. In the case of rebellion, all the integration progress, so integrating the land that you've just taken, to get a core on it, it is not lost. It will just pause and start declining until you conquer it back again. So this is good to know. When a civil war breaks out, can we switch to the revolutionary side through the normal switch country mechanic? Are there systems for coups or non-war revolutions? The system as described seems to capture the English, Spanish, South American civil wars and revolutions very well, but does not entirely fit the French Revolution. Which one? Late game revolutions will work differently. We don't know really how that happens, but it will happen in some way. Got another comment here. What happens if the rebels' former country does not join the war? The rebels manage to win anyway. Do they join the former country or form a new one? They form a new one. So rebels will only join the previous country if the previous country joins the war, which is very interesting. Is it the only instance where it's possible to support rebels, or can any rebels be supported by anyone? So you can spend money to support rebels in any nation you have a spy network in, and you've got the Age of Renaissance events for it. Cool. Good to know. What does power support mean? It has how many pops and how powerful they are compared to the total country. So if I hop onto the dev diary, we can see where that is. Power of support right here. So that's good to know. Is there no way for a civil war to end in two distinct political entities if it lasts for a long period of time? No, that would be very awkward. So you can see by the dislikes, people are unhappy with this. They want civil wars to potentially result in white peace antebellum, and the two sides become distinct countries. And so one of the things that was mentioned as a result for this is, but excuse me, there is a civil war that ended in two distinct countries. It's over there in, China and Taiwan. So the response to that is technically both of those countries still think they're in a civil war of sorts, or they act as if it is just a rebellious province in the case of the Republic of China. Oh, which one? The People's Republic of China, sorry, the big one. And then Taiwan is Republic of China. Sorry, got that mixed up a second. But yeah, no, they are technically, there was no, it's kind of still going on in a way. But there's the difference between what it is and what it is pretending to be, kind of way, But yeah, that's kind of a response to that. It would be nice, though, if they could become, two separate countries. Awkward or not, that would be a better option, if, in my opinion. Would it be better to have negotiated peace in civil wars? And negotiated we end civil war under these demands? Sure, we could always have the surrender button and a smiley face. And this is post 140. And we go on one of those things again where an idea gets put into Johan's head based on feedback, and then by the end of the thread, it's basically confirmed, and he's acting as if it is just a mechanic that should have been expected, or it might as well have been in the Tinto talk itself. Because we have here a bunch of questions, and then another one here. He said civil wars could always be fought to the bitter end. Will it be possible for one side to capitulate sooner? It's quite annoying and imperative to take every single rebel location. And he's like, yeah, 8 comments later, yeah, we can add a surrender button that the AI is likely to hit when at less than 10% power. So he's, within those 8 comments, it's gone from, yeah, we could add a surrender button, and then we can add a surrender button, and this is how it would work. And then we move on further, and we have post 191. Can civil wars be ended with negotiation to avoid outside threats during it? Yeah, with surrender. Yes. So he's just like, this is not the first time this has happened. And it's, it is surrender basically confirmed, But that's great. That's great. That's fantastic. If a religious group wants independence, will it be generate a non-historical dynamic tag? For example, the Union of the Maya-Physite Brothers, with custom names, random out color flags, etc. But no, it will name itself from the province or area or culture or so on. I don't know. This is like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But this kind of sounds really cool. I'm not gonna lie. If religious rebels came out with this kind of thing, I would be entirely in favor of that, for sure. Would it be possible to show the actual values of satisfaction instead of flooring it at 0%? Yeah, no, this is something that I am heavily in favor of. So, where is a good example of that? Probably not this one. Whatever. Satisfaction, where is that? So there we go. So, yeah, it is this one. But basically, yeah, is it possible to have this show? Yeah, here it is. Satisfaction is at 0%. If you add up all these numbers, it does not come to flat 0%. It's something in the negative. I'm not going to do the math. Someone else can do the math. But yes, asking for them to actually show the negative number is a good thing. And if this could be applied to EU4, something like, oh, my estate is at 100% influence. Let me remove this privilege, because I'm also at 100% loyalty. Let me remove this privilege for 5%. I'm still at 100%, because it goes over 100% and it doesn't show you anything but 100. Essentially that way. Good idea to have this fixed. Is there a way to provoke a rebellion like when you provoke yourself after many coupatas before... Whatever. Is there a way to provoke a rebellion? No. Unlike in EU4, where you can, in fact, provoke rebellion, that is not possible in EU5. Okay, then. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Probably for the best, I guess, but I don't know. When a rebellion kicks off, what happens to the loyal armies located in the newly revolting country? They get exiled, and they have to walk home first. And people hated this. I guess I kind of do as well. Because if you think about it logically and like what it would be, you send your army to this rebellious-ish province to quell the rebellious sentiment in said province. And then it breaks out into open armed rebellion. You really expecting those troops that were sent there for that reason to go home to then reinvade? No, they're gonna fight where they are. They're gonna straight up fight where they are. That's just a given. I think this is a you know what? After having thought of it that way, I agree that is not a good idea. I think very much so these guys should be able to fight where they are, you know. If a country that joins the separatists against you is already in a coalition against you, does the coalition fire? No, it doesn't. Okay, I think that was somewhat expected as well. And finally, how do rebellions and normal wars interact? For example, if a revolt or civil war breaks out in the middle of a regular war, does that mess up the war goal, war score, peace negotiation? And conversely, can I declare war on a country that's in the middle of a revolt or civil war? It messes up for all royally, but worse for the ones getting civil wars. Yeah, this sucked in Imperata. If you're at war with somebody and they got a rebellion or a civil war in the middle of their war, I don't know if it was bugged or it just wasn't working as intended, but it quite often led you to being completely white-pieced. Especially if you declared war on the rebellion as well, and then either side won, and then it just white-pieced both sides. Like, it was an absolute hassle. The mechanics of it were, as far as I can tell, at least for me, just not understood whatsoever what was supposed to happen. And hopefully it'll be a little bit more clear what is going to happen in EU5. But anyway, I've spoken enough. That is the last comment that I wish to share with you on rebellions. As you can tell, my voice ain't great. I have vocal cords rebelling against me. But that is all I have for you today. Thank you very much for watching. We have tomorrow a new dev diary, and if we hover over here, we can see that it's going to be about diplomacy. And that's going to come out tomorrow. So if you want to see that, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can stay informed on everything coming out of Project Caesar. Hopefully my throat and voice will be better by tomorrow. But even if not, I will be making that video. So hope this wasn't too hard to listen to. I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.